Hey everybody, Eric Capehart here, founder of All the King's Men Mentoring Organization right here in Nashville, Tennessee, and your expert mentor. Guess what? Today is day 3 of National Mentoring Month, and I'm excited about a great message that I have for you today, which is all about staying committed to your mentorship and to your mentee. But before we get into that lesson for today, I want to just spend a few minutes just telling people about who I am. I understand there's people watching this video all around the world who have no idea about who I am. So again, my name is Eric Capehart. I am the founder of an organization called All the King's Men right here in Nashville, Tennessee. We were founded in 2007 with a very simple mission. Our mission was to reduce the likelihood that a black male under the age of 18 would ever come into contact with juvenile court. It was that simple. We were dedicated and committed our lives to doing whatever it took to ensure that black males, young black males, never ever came into contact with juvenile court. And so the story behind why All the King's Men came into an existence is because back in 2006 or 2007, I believe, here in Nashville, Tennessee, there was a young man who found himself in trouble with the law. In fact, he murdered someone. You know, he had gotten into a shootout with between a father and this young man. They were out at a mall in North Nashville, at Rivergate Mall. Some of you are familiar with that mall. But anyhow, there was a shootout that took place. There was a little 9-year-old girl that was murdered. And of course, that's a terrible, terrible tragedy that no one should ever have to live through. However, the story goes on to this young man was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison. And when he was asked about what led him to that day's events, he started to talk about the fact that he felt that no one loved him or that no one cared about him. And so when I read that and I was reading about the story, I started to ask myself, when is somebody going to do something about this? And so as I'm asking myself this question, I'm a 26-year-old man, and I realized, you know what? Hey, I'm somebody, and I can do something about this. And so from that moment on, I contacted a few of my friends, contacted some connections that I had, and we decided that we were going to start mentoring boys after school at a community center, Hadley Park Community Center in Nashville, Tennessee. And so that's exactly what we did. We met with these boys. There was 15 young men who helped us start our organization. And we started out meeting with them once a week on Saturday mornings from about 11 a.m. until about 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And very quickly we realized that we're going to have to meet with these boys more than just once a week, more than just, for a few hours a week, because one, we knew that the impact that we were having needed to be extended. And also the boys started to ask us for more time. And so what we did was we decided that instead of just meeting on one day a week on Saturday morning, that we would also add Monday and Wednesday after school. So that's what it was. We decided to meet with these boys 3 days a week, Mondays and Wednesdays after school, and then we met with them on Saturday, afternoons into the evening. And that's the story. That's how we started All the King's Men. That was back in June of 2007. And so I'm really, really excited about the fact that this year, June the 3rd of 2017, is going to be the 10-year anniversary of All the King's Men. And when I'm telling you, when I think about 10 years of being involved in young people's lives, I can't tell you how many times I've gone home and laid in my bed and thought about the lives of these young people and how much they I'm thinking about not only how much we impact them as mentors, but I'm also thinking about how much they impact me as their mentor and all the other mentors that we had. And so I want to say, and I really do sincerely mean this. Thank you to all the people who have helped us along the way, all the mentors, all the board members, volunteers, the parents, anybody who has had any hand in what we've done at All the King's Men over the last 10 years. We really, really appreciate you for that, and we hope that you continue to support us as we move past 10 years. When we first started All the King's Men, as a founder, I committed myself to doing this for 25 years. I really did. And so here we are 10 years in. I have 15 years left to go, and I'm looking forward to the future. And so that's the story about how All the King's Men started. And I just wanted to share that with you all today because I think it's going to be very important. It's an important piece as I set up what I'm about to tell you. All right, so here we are, day 3, National Mentoring Month. One note about National Mentoring Month that I think everybody needs to know is that it was founded in 2002 with an intent, and the whole purpose was to encourage people to engage in youth mentoring. And so it's not necessarily about peer-to-peer mentoring for an adults or corporate mentorship or anything like that. National Mentoring Month It's a month that is dedicated to encouraging people to go out and find young people in this world to mentor, right? And so that's what National Mentoring Month is all about. Today is day 3, and I'm going to be talking about how to stay committed to your mentorship and to your mentee. Now, I have trained hundreds of people on mentorship. In fact, I'm going to be doing some trainings next week, and I'll be sharing some of that with you. One thing that I always hear, I hear this all the time, when we start to talk about the biggest challenges or the biggest thing that new mentors or even old mentors or seasoned mentors are worried about, I always hear this thing about the time commitment. How am I going to be able to balance my work, my family, and every other thing that I have going on with also now being a part of someone else's life? And that's a big concern. And I think it's perhaps the most important concern that a new mentor needs to be aware of and address before they ever get into working one-on-one or even in a group with young people. Okay, so here's the deal. Mentorship is about every single moment you spend with your mentee. Every single moment. It's not about the overall process. It's not about the end result. It's about every single moment that you spend with your mentee. And I truly believe that showing up is perhaps the most important part of mentorship. And so the thing about mentorship is you are committing yourself to be in the life of a young person for an extended period of time. Most mentorship organizations, they're going to ask you for at least a 12-month commitment, right? So we're going to be asking you right off the bat, can you commit to being in this young person's life for 12 months? So that's the first number that you need to be aware of, 12 months. You've got to be committed to being there for 12 months, right? And then a good mentorship, typically you want to spend about 3 to 4 hours with your mentee every month, right? So that's 3 to 4 hours every month for 12 months that you are going to go into your mentorship knowing that, hey, I need to be ready to do this. I need to be ready to commit for a whole year for up to 3 to 4 hours a month. Now, how you do that, that's up to you. You do have room and some flexibility to be creative, but you need to make sure that you are planning ahead, right? You need to make sure that you're not getting down to the last minute in a month and you realize, hey, it's the last week in the month. I haven't seen my mentee all month, and I know I need to spend 3 to 4 hours with them. So now you're scrambling, trying to move your schedule around so that you can have time to go and meet with your mentee, right? Stressful. Who wants to do that? Nobody wants to find themselves in that situation month after month, because eventually it's going to become a burden for you. Trust me. New mentors, I see it happen all the time. Burnout happens real fast because life gets to going, things come up, and now you are expected to be in somebody's life, and now you're trying to decide, all right, am I going to go be a mentor for this day or for these 3 hours or whatever, or am I going to stay home and do these things or finish some extra work? That's going to be one of the biggest challenges for people, which is estimating the time commitment. People always underestimate the time commitment. And so I want to challenge you and encourage you today. Always know that it's going to be at least a 12-month commitment that the mentorship organization is looking for, because it takes a good year to really come into somebody's life, establish a relationship with them by connecting with them, and then, learning about them and helping them move from where they are to where they want to be within a year's time. 3 to 4 hours is important because, think about it. Any relationship that's important to you, you want to spend time in that relationship. You're not going to have a good relationship if you're only spending 1 or 2 hours, a week just sitting down and talking to your mate, right? You need to be committed to spending that time with your mentee. And so a cool way that I have come up with to help mentors be more committed to their mentorship and to their mentee is by a little thing that I call a mentor forecast. As you look around today, I don't know if you can see this. Let me pan. I'm in Nashville. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee right now, and you can see that it's a little cloudy, right? Now, I'm not surprised by the fact that it's cloudy today because I looked at the news and I knew that it was going to be cloudy. As a matter of fact, I looked at my watch and see, hey, it's going to be cloudy outside today. That's what a forecast is, right? You can be able to look into the future so that you can plan ahead. And a mentor forecast is the same way. When you're forecasting your mentorship, you want to think about your schedule for the month. You want to think about all the meetings that you have. You want to think about everything that you have going on. And then you want to plan the day and the time that you're going to go and be with your mentee, right? And you want to share that with your mentee, because sharing that information with your mentee sets up the anticipation that you're going to be in their life for that period of time, for that month. They're going to be looking forward to spending that time with you. So you want to do your mentor forecast, and you want to share that with your mentee. Now, here's the thing about the mentor forecast. It's just like the weather forecast. It needs to be reliable, right? You don't need to say, hey, I'm going to come and spend some time with you on every Friday from 4 to 5 for the next month, and then you don't show up. Because here's what happens when you don't show up. In my experiences, especially in a group mentoring setting, when a young person starts to make a connection with you as their mentor, they really do expect for you to be there, and they're excited about you coming. And when you don't show up, they're like, well, where's Eric? I was expecting him to be here. Where's he at? And when we don't have an answer for that young person about where you are, then that young person starts to think, okay, what is it about me? Why is this person not being committed to me? Now, here's the scary part about that. And you really need to know this as a mentor. When you don't show up for your mentee, you are almost essentially telling them that something else was more important. Now, I understand that there will be times where you can't commit because, sometimes things happen. But in the case that you cannot show up to be with your mentee during the time that you told them, you need to go ahead and let them know that. You want to reach out to the organization, or reach out to the parent, or reach out to whoever you can, and let them know that, hey, I know we're supposed to be meeting today, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that today, right? So you need to let them know that. And I'm telling you, this mentor forecast is a cool way to help you plan your mentorship. It helps you stay committed to your mentorship, one, and then it helps you stay committed to your mentee, because a failed mentorship is one where the mentor is not committed or has underestimated the time. Hey, that's going to be my mentorship moment for today. It's National Mentoring Month. I want to encourage each of you to go to my website at ericdkpart.com and join my list today. If you join today, I'm going to send you instant access to a mentor readiness guide. And in this mentor readiness guide, I'm going to be walking you through the steps that you need to, get ready to be a mentor. And at the end of this week, I'm going to be putting a challenge out to everybody watching these videos. I'm going to be putting a challenge out on this Friday, actually. I'm going to challenge everybody on this Friday to do something that I think you might be interested in doing. It's National Mentoring Month. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, happy mentoring.